Amsterdam is a movie that is the definition of not for everyone. I went into this movie with low expectations because of the early buzz. It's just nothing. Nobody said anything good. Even some trusted people that do reviews, they didn't say it was any good at all. And I was like, oh boy. But I got a screening for it, and I said, let me definitely check this out because it has a cast that I really enjoy seeing in other movies. Even though a lot of the times when you see a movie with a big cast of all stars, it's usually a bad movie. So I thought this was just going to be another one. But I came out pleasantly surprised because I went in with an open mind and I just let the movie wash over me and see what it had for me. Before I get into the premise, I hope you guys can like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with fellow film and TV show enthusiasts. Now let's get into the premise. Set in the 30s, it follows three friends played by Christian Bale, Margot Robbie, and John David Washington who witness a murder, become suspects themselves, and uncover one of the most outrageous plots in American history. Let's start off with the good. So this movie has a star-studded cast, but what you paying to see is Christian Bale, Margot Robbie, and John David Washington playing three friends who met during one of the wars in 1918, I believe, and they play a doctor, a soldier, and a nurse respectively, and their chemistry is fantastic. They felt like real legit friends. The way they rib each other, the way they looked at each other, the way they had fun, that it just leapt off the screen and really was made the movie very charming. And as the story progressed, as that first mystery murder happens and more people start getting taken out, they slowly start showing the chemistry between them and how they first met and how their relationship developed and kind of fell over time. And it was very relatable because you get a lot of friends in real life who you meet young and you think you know each other forever, and then as you get older you separate for whatever reason. Someone gets married, someone moves to another place, and things like that. Very relatable causes. And this movie, this plot is a murder mystery and a whodunit and what's going on and this crazy plot that they uncover. But the story is about love, trust, and justice and what is right, and that supersedes everything else. Even though there's like a whodunit plot, it takes its time and makes that weight so that they can develop this relationship and show you everyone's motivations. And all the characters here are very quirky. But out of the three leads, Christian Bale stands out the most. He's the one that loses himself in the character that he plays the most and is the least recognizable as just, this is Christian Bale. I felt like I was watching John David Washington, even though he was great, and I felt like I was watching Margot Robbie, but she was really great as well. But he just like became this character, and it was really engrossing. And I think he just had the most to do, and he really pioneered for this role to happen because he wanted to play something different, and I think he really knocked it out of the park. Another one I want to shout out, other than those three, it was Chris Rock. He has a small role, but he's absolutely hilarious. He had me dying in the theater from laughter. And the way the characters are written, they are given either memorable looks or quirks or something about them or a line that makes them all memorable. Even if they have a small role, there's something that either happens to them that makes you remember them. You might not remember their name, but you remember the character, and it stays in your brain. And I really like this. It was a character-driven movie. The plot was kind of secondary. It's a comedy, and the drama of it did take place, and it was there, and the stakes were there. But overall, it was just these three friends uncovering this murder mystery that turned out to be a bigger deal than they expected, and trying to make sure that they weren't the ones blamed for everything. And I thought it was very endearing. It felt like a really old school kind of movie. Even though this is a comedy, it is a historical drama. Some of the events here actually happened, but parts of it happen in real life, or like maybe the basis of it happened and it's just exaggerated, or things are changed for comedic effect in the movie. And the way the pacing of the movie is, this movie is 2 hours and 14 minutes, and it moves at a chaotic, like almost rambling pace. It feels like the person who wrote the script didn't use commas. It was just going. It will stop for a little bit for some comedy bits, and then go. And it was this kinetic pace that kind of felt like a play a lot of the times, and then and it felt cinematic other times. It was just a really unique and weird experience that a lot of the times I was sitting there like, what the hell is going on? I looked over at my friend that I went to go see the movie with, and I'm like, what is happening? And he's just like, I don't know, but I'm having fun. And that is the general feeling I think I had, and a lot of people I saw the movie with in the theaters had. It was like, this is so chaotic. This is so like, what is happening? Why are they doing these weird things? But it was, the characters were so charming, and there was enough laughs because I literally laughed out loud in the theater and like eventually held my stomach, especially at Chris Rock, that I was just like, okay, you know, you are making me laugh, you're entertaining me, you're making me feel something. So I'm gonna give you the time to unpack all this rambling, this chaotic energy you're going through, to figure out what's the story is gonna be. And I gotta say that the movie has a lot of plot lines, a lot of story, a lot of different character arcs, and a lot of different love stories. It's just a lot is going on, but it all comes together at the end and make it all worth it. It can feel overwhelming, but it comes together at the end. And I think that part made it brilliant. And earlier I said that the movie felt old school, and it feels old school not only in the comedy but also the way the actors act. The comedy feels like some Charlie Chaplin, like that old school kind of comedy, slapstick humor, but it also has kind of like a Casablanca, the Scarface 1932, and things like that kind of acting, and how it felt kind of like a play a lot of the times. So don't go expect in like modern techniques. This is a old school kind of movie, just made for modern times and with modern technology, and it was kind of refreshing to see something different like that. Even a lot of movies these days, when they try to do old school, it still feels modern, it's just set in the past. This literally felt like it should have been a black and white movie. Let's talk about the bad. So this movie can feel very overstuffed and convoluted. And you know what? I can agree with those gripes a little bit, because there are a lot of stuff going on, and there's a lot of bits going on at the same time, and things crossing, and you're like trying to figure out and grab a hold of what the plot is and what the story is, and it kind of veers off to this direction, veers off to that direction, and everything is for a reason, but at first it can feel very overwhelming. So this is not something that everyone can enjoy. You could just sit down and just enjoy it like that, because I think some people are going to be a little like, what is these even, what's even going on? What's the point of all this? So it's, like I said before in the beginning, it's not for everyone. So you have to go in there with an open mind and understand this is not a conventional plot where it's like a straight through line and with a couple twists in there. It just veers off like crazy throughout the movie. And this one is actually a legitimate gripe for me. I think the movie was like 15 minutes longer than it needed to be. The director and writer felt like they weren't reined in a bit. There were some comedy bits that could have, been lessened a little bit, that they spent a little too much time on. And then towards the end, I felt like they kind of started getting repetitive with a message, because like I said, it's about love and friendship and truth and justice. And they kind of try to ram home all those things at the end of the movie. And I feel like a lot of that was not needed. I feel like the audience got it once the case was solved and everything was wrapped up, and they didn't need to keep doing the flashbacks and all these different things that they did toward the end of the movie to extend the runtime. So once things started settling down, it kept going. I was like, okay, now I'm starting to feel the length of the movie. But then it ended, and I was like, oh, okay, it wasn't going on for too much longer. But that's like my only legit gripe that I have with the film. Let's talk about my verdict. So yes, I do enjoy this film a lot, but I do understand it's definitely not for everyone. It can be a very difficult watch with how chaotic and how the story and plotline there, and so many different flashbacks, and they set this up and then they go back and they go forward, and it can feel very convoluted and very confusing. But if you sit there and let it, do its thing, and you'll be entertained. I think it's a very charming, entertaining, funny movie that got big laughs out of me and the people that I was watching the movie with, and the crowd that was there as well. And I think it's definitely worth your time. I don't think it's a must watch in the theater. I think that if you don't feel like going to the theater, or you have something else you want to see, you can definitely skip it in the theater, but definitely check it out sometime, either on streaming or rent it or something like that, because I think it's worth the watch for the performances and the fun alone. And with that said, I'm going to give it a B. Did you like it? Did you hate it? What would you rate it? What would you rate Amsterdam if you saw the movie? And if you didn't see the movie, do you feel like my review has pushed you towards going to see it? Or like, nope, this is a skip. Let me know in the comments down below how you guys feel about this review and the movie itself. And hit that like button if you like my review. Subscribe to the channel. It really helps it grow. And hit that notification bell so you can be notified of my reviews, reactions, and ranking lists. And you can watch more of my content right now.